Hi, everybody. I'm recording with Zoom this time instead of the usual system that I use. I want to just see how that works out. A happy new year. It's 2024. I'm going to try to share some personal stories with angels and other amazing stuff that's happened for me in the last decade or so. It's not something I normally share, but once in a while I do on the Angels Positivity and Love show. Speaking of which, we just had episode 50 come out end of 2023 with Dr. Raymond Moody, a psychiatrist doctor who literally is the godfather of near-death experience research. I think he's 13 books or so. One alone has sold 10 million copies or more in all these years. He co-writes quite often with Paul Perry, who himself is knighted in Portugal. Paul Perry is not just a New York Times best-selling author, I think 3 times. He co-writes with others. Just amazing sense of how to tell a story. He himself did a book on Salvador Dali that was acknowledged by the country of Portugal, and he did a film as well on Salvador Dali, for which he was knighted. So these are two powerhouses. Dr. Raymond Moody literally, started off as a skeptic, I'm going to say 40, 50 years ago, but has come over to the possibility that more exists than we can physically grasp in each moment. And just absolutely wonderful. His latest book is Beyond Words Publishing in conjunction with, I believe, Simon and Schuster for distribution purposes and everything else. They give a wonderful interview. Again, this is episode 51, Angels, Positivity, and Love. Check it out at YouTube. That's just youtube.com. You're probably already on this channel, / Michael Andre Ford. Next weekend, January 7th, this Sunday, is Kelly Noonan Gores, the acclaimed filmmaker for the movie Heal. That starred Deepak Chopra, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Marianne Williamson, Michael Bernard Beckwith, and on and on and on. Some amazing folks, some really amazing folks. It's an incredible film. I'd forgotten I'd already seen it years back when it came out again since 2017. In 2019, she took the extra stuff that hadn't made it into the film, because remember, probably only 15% of her film, what she captured, went into that documentary that's, again, available on Amazon. Just go check it out. Heal, Heal, Kelly Noonan Gores. It comes up right away when you put it into Amazon if you've got a Prime subscription. She turned it into a 2019 book that, again, Beyond Words Publishing got involved with, Atria Books, Simon & Schuster. So she gave an absolutely wonderful interview. The thing that separates me from either other healers around the world, other experts, and they're all wonderful. Keep using them, sign up for their classes, buy their books. Everyone's on their unique life path, hopefully offering the best they can offer. Keep doing what you're doing as well. Everything is perfect as it is right now. I always say you don't need me, but I help people let go to tap what they've already got, whether they want to acknowledge it or not. That's full on listening. And you get it, all languages, all dialects. To whom or what are you listening to? Angels, unconditional loving guides, Mother Teresa, Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Gandhi, Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, Geronimo, Dull Knife, Red Shirt, White Buffalo, Calf Woman, Black Elk, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius. It goes on and on, 170 plus figures, a lot of angels. Plus you have your own angel team. So over the years, there's been a lot of other angels, people's guardian angel, their book writing angel, their muses. Everyone has a really big team, your passed over loved ones. You don't just get to listen to them. You can feel hugs. I say one hug is worth 100 questions. You can get all your answers. How fast can you write? The record's 49 pages by an Australian. This is a bunch of years ago now, but I mean, I think it took 9 hours. I just checked in every 2 hours. You're doing your own work. It is the scariest thing in the world to go here. And before I get to this part, you also get to see full on. So first you see a little bit of light. You sort of take all these little baby steps. It's like 75 baby steps to letting go to fully get to here and to openness, as Buddhists would say. But, one act of letting go can be half those steps. So it's not really any formulaic thing, but I blow sage. I'll do that in a little bit. I light sage. I do it in every show. I've done it as a guest on 42 plus shows in the last year and a half. You catch sage through the screen. What will you allow for is kind of the rub or the crux here. If you're here, you have no limits. Love is shiny, infinite, never left you. You're maxed out on love in every second, but you have to actually attune to it or pay attention or drop out of the brain all the adulting, what you know, the type of knowing that precludes possibility to get to your heart, which is what you would do as an athlete, a musician, an artist, a filmmaker. When you're in the zone and ready to go, some activity that you love doing. It could be just making that amazing pot of coffee because you're the best coffee maker ever. You even made the beans, you flavored them a certain way, you sell coffee for a living, that's your passion. You are here more than you'd ever like to realize. You have something called an ego, a psyche that wants to grab a clipboard and pen and kind of keep control of the situation, label things that are harmful out there. You need to react to this. You need to stay in a stressed, fearful, worrying, rejecting, reacting to mode. It's called thinking. When your thinking is down in your heart, that's when you're creative, productive, having fun, going with the flow. You're saying, what a nice set of clouds up there. I'm loving this sunset. So there are two different types of energy flows. There's awareness, unconditional love. There's 1,000 other ways to say harmony, compassion, interconnectedness with all. And there's 1,000 ways that different cultures, religions, philosophies, healers, groups, institutes, consciousness, unconsciousness. There's a million ways everybody slaps labels on this. And when you really think about it hard, what exactly is this? I would argue this is an interdimensional thing in a way, because you can meet angels, you can meet your loved ones, you can see your loved ones, Uncle Frank. A jinn is East Asian mysticism. Fairies exist. I've got photographs of angels, Plato, the philosopher, fairies. But you can meet light beings as well. If you're one of those like researchers, or you're with the SETI Institute or METI or NASA or a former astronaut, you probably, some people like discount angels because of the word angels. These are, again, unconditional love beings that are here to help, but not interfere. The true definition of unconditional love. Everything is perfect as it is now. If you could allow for that, there's always room for more expansion, growth, more loving, more being present. Letting go of details is one of the biggest steps you can take, no matter what the situation is. I love Einstein's quote about the consciousness that says, hey, I have a problem. My problem is, my situation is not the same consciousness level as when you move away and you've resolved or moved on from that situation. Pema Chodron had a great expression or quote that was like, nothing ever really goes away until it's taught you what you need to know. We all know this from health issues, divorce, crisis, this, that, financial issues, and so on. So your opportunity in each moment is simply to breathe a little bit more, smile more, be more present, pet your dog. An angel named Charlotte said that if the Olympic gold medal here isn't some fantastic miracle, it's just 7% less thinking a day or week, if you prefer it that way. That means a little more yoga, slowing down, going for a walk, taking extra 5-minute shower, reading a book. I mean, there's a million ways to be here and let go and be in the moment. And there's a million ways to resist, which is what we're all professionals at as well. So as soon as you recognize the difference between the two, you're off to the races. That's when your whole spiritual journey really begins. You can identify your unique life path. You can have angels come in and help fill it out in terms of detail, but they can also give you action steps so you can align more with that unique life path. Angels can alter your path. And angels come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and they have all sorts of backgrounds. Some are from way out. But think of this as vibrational levels. There's lower vibrational levels. We dip into that when we get stuck in traffic and we're shouting at another car. When we're joyous because we're seeing the cousin we haven't seen in a while. We love that cousin. They're at our doorway or at the airport or the train station, and we light up and we go running over to give a hug. Our vibration's through the roof. So angels are here to help. You have to set your intent. You have to be able to get out of your own way, out of the brain, out of the knowing that science is based on, knowing that precludes possibility. It's absolutely concretely this way. And then wait a week, there's a new discovery and that thing's gone. And now you got a new notion sitting on top of a stool pronounced as this is it. Everything is constantly changing, and you know that time is kind of a construct of the mind. You've experienced it whether you go on vacation, take a class, and so on. Again, I'll blow a little bit of sage in a second with a feather through 2 screens. You should be able to smell it. Give yourself permission to let go. You have a higher self or soul. I help people see that up against the sky. Meet a few angels first. You can meet a loved one, passed over loved one, reunite. I've had a few guests do that just before the show or after the show, so that's been pretty incredible. Again, you meet angels first. It's my life path to help people meet their own angel crew or cheerleading squad. That's what I really like to do. But there's 175 figures on the front end. Mary, Jesus, Muhammad, Plato, Buddha, Sai Baba, Sri Kaleshwar, Vishnu, Krishna, Ganesh, Lakshmi, Kuan Yin, Sai Baba, if I didn't say that, Geronimo, Dull Knife, Red Shirt, White Buffalo, Calf Woman, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, Einstein, Plato, St. Francis, Mother Teresa. You get the idea. A lot of angels, a lot of figures, all unconditional love. Sylvia Brown, if you wanted to meet her, there's no judging. This is a really hard concept. They're already light. They're already reconciled. They've dealt, let's say a couple of them had hangups when they were here, hiccups of some sort. They've been through the whole reconciliation process. They're unconditional love, period. They know your situation. They know your timeline. They know what steps you could take, should take. 3 Native American chiefs, Dull Knife, Red Shirt, Geronimo, are fantastic. One of their strengths is getting you from point A to point B for anything. You only have to have the guts to be willing to be here, ask your question, listen, and how fast can you operate one of these to get your answers? Again, the record, 9 hours, 48 pages of answers by an Australian. Australians, New Zealanders, Canadians, people from India tend to be really solid, fantastic. They just hit the ground running and get going. They know what they want. Business people tend to be great. They know their business model. They have discipline. They are just somehow sensei. They're incredible they're very spiritual, whether they know it or not. They just know how to drop to here, be in the zone, listen, stay focused, ask a question, get their answers. You get hugs as well. I'd argue one hug is worth 10 questions. A hug, there's a million ways to feel a hug, literally. A goosebump here, a whoosh, yummy in the tummy, sparkle. What will you allow for is sort of the intersection of everything here. There's a lot of people who just completely melt down. And they could be like on the Watkins, I've had this happen. A Watkins 100 person, I've had wonderful Watkins 100 people who have been on that list of the top 100 spiritual people. It's usually headed up by the Pope, Oprah, this person, that person, the Dalai Lama. But lower down in the list, in the 10s, the 20s, the 50s, and so on. I've had one person melt down 5 minutes into just chatting over a virtual tea to say hi at the concept of ever meeting angels or anything else. But I've had others as guests on the show. It is what it is. And it could be just the day of the week or day of the year that you caught the person, they're having a hard time. It could be, though, that they had a childhood experience. It was so personal and so not necessarily traumatic, but maybe it was, that somehow that it hit that little spot here or here, and it was too much at the moment. That happens. I mean, just the act of meeting angels or seeing a fairy put their wings out. 13-year-old one way, Tinkerbell or Ginger, waving hi, you're chatting with them, and then boop, the wings come out and they can turn into a ball of light and fly off. Now, usually that's when it short circuits you. It's kind of an ontological shock experience. But it's usually a happy one, and you're dumbfounded. And there's no way even a month later you're going to have a chance to grasp any of it. Trust me, I've tried to grasp my way there. For 2 years on angels, here's the conclusion I reached after 2 years of trying to grasp angels. They're here, they exist, they're here to help. Allow for this and let them do their jobs. Your answers, hugs, and much more will come. You've also got a background that goes beyond what you physically know, what's on your license and where you've lived and where you were born. You can get into that if you want, or if angels are offering you that, fantastic. But again, you can get healing. Colorblind people have seen color. What else? I'll try to share some personal experiences. I love the movie Angela, Angel-A by Luc Besson. See it on Amazon Prime. If you're a member, it's available. It's Angel-A, Angela. Look that up, but there's a line in the movie where the guardian angel is sitting with her human that she's supposed to help. He's still trying to grasp and think through everything. So she gives him a couple of personal stories how she became an angel, and it's made up, full of drama, so he could seize on someone else's story and maybe feel better about his. And she said to him point blank, my details shouldn't matter. It's you needing to accept where you're at in life is all that matters. And I probably didn't do the best job explaining that. But just check out the movie. It's a wonderful movie. I love it because it's very Hollywooded out. There's a couple moments of violence and stuff like that. But it's a fun movie. Dan Millman's Peaceful Warriors, fantastic. Find that on the suggested reading page at my website. What else is there? There's the 1940 movie Lucky Partners. I love that one as well. I'm going to light some sage. Just give yourself a break. Give yourself permission to let go. Ask your higher self, your angels, to help you. I'm going to use a feather, red-tailed hawk feather, to blow some sage through the screen. Allow, allow, allow. Take a deep breath. If you're still stressed or worried that you may not be able to do it, your nose is feeling stuffed up, exhale like a whale once. Give yourself a break again. I'm going to tell a dad joke. What's the only flower found on the human face? Tulips. Tulips, if you need assist. Let the sage smoke reach you. Some people taste it on their mouth. Others whose noses aren't that perfect, again, still get to smell it. May smell like sage, but if you want to ask angels to do more, we're very linear when we're in the brain. You may only smell sage, but if you ask for sage and flowers, you may catch the aroma of lilies or roses or something like that. Watch a couple of the shows. Find the Lorna Byrne show. I did sage for her. She didn't catch the scent of sage in Ireland. Here I am in San Antonio, Texas. She caught daisies and roses. The Jennifer McLean show, she caught sage in California, plus 3 different flowers. And she shares that out loud. Again, what will you allow for? What a great mantra, but why not just say, I am love, and allow for more love in your life. Okay, let me share a couple of stories. Again, it's not important what I've experienced or done. It's not going to help you pick up the pace on accepting what's going on in your own life right now. Only you can do that. But angels are unconditional love. They're here to help. Just set your intent, get out of your own way. They're not here to interfere. You have to actually own this part. That's what I do. I help people tap their skill set, which is beyond, everyone's skill set is beyond what we currently attribute to modern day mystics, psychic mediums, what am I skipping? Healers and others. It doesn't mean you're going to use it all. It doesn't mean you're going to get to it this lifetime. In fact, as humanity goes, we have incredible room for improvement, growth, more love, having more fun, being more efficient with our energy. I think I did a good job. That was not a complaint. I have incredible room for growth. Everyone else does as well. The second you want to start paying attention more, slowing down up here, slow down the doing, the thinking, and just be here more, your path is going to explode in sparkles and a lot more. Ask the universe to come in. That's the universe's job. You'll see a little bit of that in the Paulo Coelho book, The Alchemist. And you'll hear that from Esther Hicks and the Abraham Hicks law of attraction spiel. A bunch of light beings there. You can meet light beings. You know, the UAP, alien crowd, disclosure crowd should totally be into meeting a light being. Yeah, still meet a few angels first. It's just the way I work. I'd also recommend meeting a couple Native American chiefs, Dolknife, Red Shirt, Geronimo, the actual chiefs from the day, unconditional love, spirit guides, here to help you out. You can catch a Native American. You could catch a scent like tobacco, sweetgrass, sage, juniper, but you don't have to light anything. You just ask them to bring it to you. It can be a healing experience as well. We're not accustomed as humans to interacting with the universe very much. Now, that may be a generality, but boy, the second NASA, the second SETI, the second some of these disclosure groups that are all chasing after the US government right now, it's like an eternal white whale. Is that Moby Dick? It's the eternal chase, you know, looking for the one white whale. Why not meet a light being? I mean, that qualifies as a life form beyond humanity. Now, light beings are like whales, actually, if angels are dolphins. They are so broad, big, light, holy cow. But there's a light being named Grace who can dumb it down for you and at least get you a human form, chat with her, get some hugs. It's quite the experience, and for some, it'll be a little bit of an ontological shock moment. But I would argue it's much more fun to do all this than to meet let's say it's like Star Wars, the cantina shot from the original 1970 something Star Wars film in the bar where you see all the different alien creatures. Not all those aliens, if they take you out for a bite to eat, are you going to come back? Or at least come back with all your appendages still on. These are unconditional love figures that I'm referring to, whether it's Mother Teresa, Mary, Jesus, Uncle Joe from your side of the picture, angels, fairies. There's a jinn who's East Asian mysticism, full unconditional love, most wonderful figure ever, been around a super long time, eons. And so it's shiny, it's infinite, it's love. What are you going to do? Now, I'll try to share some stories. I can tell you I was walking out of a crystal shop, to sound totally cliche, probably around 2011, 2013 in Austin, Texas. It was a super warm January. I am walking in a super relaxed fashion. You can feel, gems or crystals or whatever you want to call it when you're at these shops. You just have to, and if you think you can't, which is the way I was with my palm, give yourself permission. I mean, try something to feel warmth off of in a normal way, but you can feel that energy as well the further back you go. There's a way to simply allow, and watch your hands kind of activate, watch your senses expand. You only have to keep asking and allowing and then testing it out. So I'm walking completely relaxed out of a crystal shop. I forgot the name of it, but there's a little parking lot. There's a Castle Hill fitness gym across the street at South Lamar. My car is across the street. And I happen to look over to the left and I see a guy who looks like Dave Matthews, a lot of manicured, fancy hair from the neck up, but he's wearing scrubs. So he's a doctor, looks like a surgeon type for some reason, from the neck down. Total contradiction. Hollywood up top, musician, scrubs, neck down. And I immediately pick up the pace back to my New York City speed walking pace. I just get riveted by the energy. His eyes, he kind of rolled them or looked my way, connected, and I got sizzled. I'm now finding myself at the crosswalk area. It's intersection Lamar and South Lamar and something. I'm hitting that button fast. He's standing next to me. I think I made eye contact twice more. No words exchanged. It wasn't meant to happen, but it was an angel named Dale who's shown up a lot of times for me in the past in Nantucket. It's a long story, but I was getting sizzled and I don't even know where he went. I got back to my car. In fact, I have no idea. It's the first time I thought about this. I have no idea where he went after that. We just had a run in and it was a positive, even though I'm making it sound like nothing actually happened, but something did happen and it'll always be a memory for me. I was jogging on a trail one time, and this is a very not remote trail, but no one ever used it. And I usually knew who was on the trail besides a lot of barbecued sized pigs, snakes, coyotes, and so on. But I saw a figure from the waist down. I think a tree was blocking the rest, and they went around the corner. So I picked it up. And when I got to the straightaway, there was no one there anymore. And they hadn't disappeared. This is the type of trail you could only go forward. And that was Dale saying hi again. When I worked for the Nantucket Police Department, 1990, that summer, I got paid so little I couldn't afford the brownie, wanted the brownie at Henry's Sandwich Shop. And it was Henry, the owner of the shop, and he can do anything he wants. I paid for my sandwich. Somehow I'm right there. And he looked at me, winked, took my bag, and stuck a brownie into my bag. And I remember munching on that brownie, 15 minutes later under a tree somewhere, having the best moment that summer. I think it happened twice. But either that was Henry and Dale popped in, or Henry was somewhere else on the island and he didn't disrupt the continuity of things and he showed up as Henry. That's the only way I know how to explain this. So you can see angels in full-on human form, and I've had people do that after sessions. And just having tea with people, I often make the suggestion that they should make the request to have this happen. I think angels are more available than ever before. Awareness, call it a spiritual awakening if you wish. I'm just quoting the little book, Listening to Angels, is on the horizon for mankind. That just means more compassion and kindness. That book is $7.99 at Amazon. You can find it, amazon.com/author/angels. And it's called Listening to Angels, 100% written by angels. If anybody wants to argue with that and say I somehow wrote it, then a biggest thank you to them. Thank you. It's not like super short. It's probably like 45 pages. There's 7 photos of angels in it. I think I sell those on the website for $3 a pop. So there's some value there for you. Pick up a copy, check it out. If you're in a really bad mood, you'll never be able to touch that book. It's angel writing. But there's others who have peeked at it a little bit every day or have read it every day. It's 25-minute read. There are a lot of mantras in there, a lot of great reminders. And Dale did the epilogue in which he likens the soul's path, the journey, and the you opening up to that journey, the growth of the soul, the expansion of the soul, to having an undergraduate degree and a graduate degree. And the basics here is this: you've got to have one before you can have the other. The undergraduate degree is kind of what we were talking about, recognizing the difference in flows between when you're up in your brain, which most adults are, most career focused people are. For a lot of us, I was in New York City for a long time as a publicist. I was a pig in mud. I was having a lot of fun, but I mean, I wouldn't have known anything about Oprah, Super Soul Sunday, these experts, these movies, the concept of healing, energy, seeing auras, the possibility that angels exist, that I could snap photos of angels, that you could see angels. This is a lot. I'll give that to anybody. But you have an undergraduate degree, which is just spotting the difference between love, compassion, openness, awareness, whatever you want to call it, opening openness, it's a connection to all, and recognizing the difference between thinking. There's, being at peace, harmony, going with the flow, and then there's all this stuff, a little bit of unconsciousness up there. When you know or understand the difference between the two, you're off to the races. The graduate degree is your unique life path and getting to it, starting to live more, love more, allow more, and basically do what you came in as Joe Schmo, Sarah Schmo, whoever you are, what you're meant to do. Angels can help you outline that, delineate it. If you need action steps to take to get there further, they can get you those. Angels can also alter your path. I'll try to give another one. I was super resistant at the very beginning to even waking up in the middle of the night if I got woken up, to go out to the living room and start paying attention a little more. I think it's the kahunas or the indigenous folks in different tribes that, sometimes get woken up at 3:15 in the morning for 20 years. Not the best pupil, not always paying attention. And even if I did make it out to my living room, I'd play MTV or an old black and white movie. But oftentimes those songs or those movies would be angel movies or messages like, hello, hello, hello. I just came by to say hello. When I did pay attention, I got some great photos, had some beautiful experiences. But there was a time I couldn't even allow for angels to exist. I was still stuck on the whole dead people ghost concept. And there was a time where I just wanted to go downtown and have a burger. I got to Zach's, beautiful, beautiful restaurant that has just closed down a couple of years ago. Reminded me of Nantucket, and it reminded me of a very friendly place. I had a good vibe, could pick up a good burger. I had been there maybe during South by Southwest 2 or 3 months earlier. No one's in the place. There's a bartender. There's a guy at the very end of the bar eating like out of a documentary film on how to eat mindfully. And in walks a regular human being. He's the guy that I sat with last time I was there. I think in the 70s, he designed record albums, designed like artistically the covers. And today he's a real estate guy. And so long story short, we sit in the exact same seats. We're marveling over the fact that we both chose to come back on the same day and what synchronicity that was. But he was safe for me. I immediately felt comfortable. But I was still stuck on the ghosts existing thing. And I wasn't getting forward at all. And I think the universe was stepping in with, if I've got the golf analogy right, a mulligan, or just shoving me over the learning fence so I could get past this lesson and get moving with more lessons. Again, not the quickest draw in the West. All of you are much quicker. I'm here to just tell you that's a fact. And I found myself getting out of my chair and going down to the guy who had shared with us that he owns, farmlands in South Texas, grew grapefruit, blah, blah, blah. He was stopping by. He's a Hispanic Nick Nolte, very, very well. Angels can show up and they've got a Hollywood wardrobe. They can show up in any form, fashion, you name it. It was the angel Joy who was showing up at the end of the bar as a male. at Omega Institute last summer in 22 or 2 summers ago, 2022. Some of my attendees got to do joint seeing at my 3-day event. That's Omega Institute in Rhinebeck, New York. Super fun place, great vibe to the land. But you can do joint seeing, joint hearing. I mean, I'm off the hook with this. I happen to have photos of angels. There's Joy. I use historical photos for Red Shirt and others. 4 archangels. There's 3 more off camera. Go to my website and check it out. You'll see, I think, second tab in, you'll see the photos, angel photos. There's a couple fairies. I have a testimonial. There's 100 testimonials, maybe 18 video, 82 written. But if you go back and find Maureen Drake's, she was an Omega Institute staffer, booker, amazing. But she would be the one who booked Deepak Chopra when he was coming in and got all those details squared away. But she did this, she did the service. And at the end of her testimonial, she acknowledges, and Tinkerbell was my very favorite. So there you go. This is something that's so direct. Again, there's shock to it. There's shock because you could be the best New York Times bestselling and acknowledged on the Watkins 100 list healer, top 20, but you're not used to this much openness and the idea of just seeing angels, having an angel hold your hand, being able to walk with angels. Let's extrapolate this out to the most extreme. You could have Audrey Hepburn come in as an angel, have her hold your hand, sit there and chat. You could get a knock at your front door and share coffee or tea with them. I think it's more likely to happen when you're out and about town. It's just easier. You're in the zone, sort of running into a coffee shop when a stranger with sparkly eyes holds the door open for you. Now, for me, most of the time, it's been meant as a just quick passing. Sometimes no words are exchanged or a few words, or you get wished a happy day, or it's something that you were just hearing in a movie the night before. And that phrase, no other stranger on the planet could have known, was percolating around or ricocheting around your brain. But they said exactly what you were discussing at the dinner table was in the Hollywood movie from the night before, and you're astounded. And so angels like, it's wonderful. They speak all languages. All dialects, can come in any shape, size, form, of all different backgrounds, and can do Hollywood wardrobe. But you also have no privacy. There's no judging. They're here to help. And if you've invited this, you can have this experience. They also just know how to navigate your trillions of thought forms, your dislikes, your likes, and they know how just to phrase something the right way to reach you here. And that's what I think is one of the coolest parts of all of this. We're all doing the best we can to not pay attention, whether we know it or not. We love to resist. This is what humans do. It's about energy, managing our energy a little bit better. We have these flows. When you flow out of here, you're one with all. You're shiny, you're infinite, you sparkle. Your eyes reflect your soul and the universal love that exists. Love is the fabric of the universe. Be sure to check out episode 51, the episode that's kicking off this new year in 2024 for the Angels, Positivity, and Love show. It's Heal documentary film director Kelly Noonan Gores. Whew, she's fantastic. She has in her film, starring Deepak Chopra, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Marianne Williamson, Greg Braden. It goes on and on and on. That's a 2017 film that won a bunch of awards. It opened a bunch of film festivals. And in 2019, she turned it into a book that was Simon & Schuster, and also, their subdivision Atria Books, along with Beyond Words Publishing up in the Northwest US. Beyond Words has a long track record of amazing healers and so on. Be sure to check out this upcoming interview. Right now, it's Dr. Raymond Moody and Paul Perry. Just wonderful. Please be sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Just a little comment like, I loved what Kelly said this weekend, and writing that down, or I loved what Raymond and Paul said about this, makes a huge difference. The algorithm, the way it works, it sees this. We're a very small show with a bigger footprint than we should have with these spectacular guests. Sandra Ingerman has agreed to be episode 81, furthest out in August, first weekend in August, that Sunday, August 4th. Wow. She's been around forever in a good way. Spectacular best-selling author, shamanic teacher, recognized as, one of the world's foremost shamans. She's super gentle and kind, very earth-oriented. I think you'll find that interview incredible. I'm looking forward to meeting her. And again, you can meet Native American chiefs, figures from India, Einstein, Plato, Sylvia Brown, wide list, a big cast of characters. Check out the front page of the website. I tried to list as many as I could. You can do the Neil Donald Walsh thing, but you got to meet a lot of angels and you kind of got to be just like soaring through it. Hey, got it. What's next? You're automatically happy. You're one of those folks. And you can do God. The way I describe God is all voices at once talking in, unison at once. So it's big. You can hear angels singing. You can see colors beyond the human definition. There's many dimensions is the only way I know how to describe it. So I do transdimensional channeling for a multidimensional experience is one of the 700 ways to say what I do. And I was doing this for free for so many years. I'd slip in the question, what does Michael do for people? So people could hear directly their own way. What do I do? He introduces you to angels. He helps you open openness. He helps you remember what you've forgotten. I mean, it goes on and on. I listed those on the website as well. Take that with a grain of salt. But that was kind of like my if I'm a taxi cab driver, that is my tip to a free fare when the person was getting free service. So it was educating me. I think Dull Knife said at one point around, I don't know, 2013, 2014, he channels. And I hadn't really thought of that. I didn't really have a definition for that. I looked it up and I was like, okay. Later, I was like, I channel. I get it. So yes, I do a little. I hold the space a little bit. I help you tap what you've already got. And I am not kidding. Pick your favorite healer, psychic medium channel out there. You've got, and this isn't putting anybody down or anything, taking away from their light or what they're doing. They're doing their unique life path. They're probably already a New York Times bestseller. They probably already have their own show. They probably already been on TV. They probably already have a long guest list. But you have more skills than myself. You have more skills than if we took 3 of them combined. You would have to have confidence, though, to own it, unlock it, and just whoop, do it in a day flat. But I would argue you are fully capable of letting go, hearing, feeling, and seeing and sensing and whatever else I skipped right away. And the only catch to it is try not to react too much. Just laugh and let go and appreciate it. Know that you can repeat it at any time in the future. If another one of those phrases is activating the rainbow light body, I do that. That's a lot of mumbo jumbo in one sense, but there's something to it on the other. Okay, so the universe is really big. Love is the fabric of the universe. Angels exist. Your relatives exist. Gandhi exists. These spirit guides exist. A jinn exists. I think I said light beings already. Fairies exist. There's probably 1 or 2 other categories that are just unconditional love figures. It's really big. It touches all cultures, all regions of the earth, all of humanity. I love Christmas Carol because that is the quickest way to relate to all this. Scrooge. That's all of us at the beginning of the book. I know it's going to seem like a put down, but we're all really focused in certain ways. And we're always blocking love because of this. I'll have time to do this when this, or I'll be happy one day when I win the gold medal. Peaceful Warrior, the gymnastics movie. Check out Dan Millman's stuff. Check out Dan Millman's film. I love it. I'll see if I can get him to be a guest at some point, or invite him, I should say, in the years ahead. He's got a super busy schedule. It's a lot to allow for. You can meet Sock, the garage station attendant, gas station attendant from the movie. He's an angel. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I think New World Library has 26 different theories on who Sock is, but when you just meet this angel, walk with him on a beach with your eyes closed, get a hug from him, he's kind of like the dude. He's incredible. So leave it at that. Again, the photographs can move, change color. There's a photograph of Audrey Hepburn I love to use. There's a photograph for Sai Baba, the one from 100+ years ago from India. He'll wink, smile, move his shoulders, his hands. What will you allow for? It's a great chance to meet your ego, though. Your ego is the part of you that will resist all of this and take shots at anything that I just said. Oh, he's too loosey-goosey, or this way or that way. That's ego. Your heart's kind of like, no, I just smelled that sage that I blew through the screen. So I'll do it again. Give yourself permission to let go. And ask angels to make it nice. That's pretty much what you would do before you get on a tennis court, go run a marathon, write your next chapter of a book, or you just want to have the world's best cup of coffee. Ask them to enhance the flavor a little. Why not? If you don't ask, you don't get. So here's some sage. I can blow it out. Allow for a little bit of sage smoke, but now ask for some flower smells, or we're so linear, we don't even know what to ask for. Ask for your favorite beach smell. Fiji, you don't even know what Fiji smells like. Hawaii, you were there 5 years ago, so ask for a Maui beach smell in the air. What will you allow for is the crux, the rub. It's our opportunity in each moment for more love, more growth, more fun, more sparkle. That's what this is all about. Catch this, play it over. I've got many other videos on my channel that you can go check out that are specifically about catching the sage. I do this also during every episode of Angels, Positivity, and Love. The point of the show is not to prove anything, so I try to do more off camera before and after. But again, people do take steps on pretty much anything where I have somebody else on. It's always a good reminder that now's always the right time. I'll share another story. I tried to play psychic for like 2 weeks. I didn't understand what boundaries were, setting your intent, protecting your energy, not spending all your energy to help somebody else out. So I found myself at my own dinner party with my energy expended, and I should have canceled the dinner party in Austin, but I didn't want to. I knew this one guest was going to ask me a question in a little voice. I hadn't met angels, hadn't taken any photos of angels yet. I thought you just did it all yourself. A little voice out of nowhere just said, "Don't answer her question, punt, send her to one of the 4 bedrooms upstairs," where 3 drawings by this famous artist of Dolnay Frederick Geronimo were on the wall. And I heard, "Just send her to the chiefs and let them answer her questions." And no one had ever talked to them before that I knew of. And so I was pretty ecstatic to get that advice and just punted and somehow didn't think about it. If I had thought about it, I would have run out of my house probably screaming. But somehow you learn to roll with a lot of this stuff. You can't analyze it all. And you got to have a little faith and trust and just go with the punches or go with the flow. So sure enough, she asked me a question at the dinner party. And I think the rest of the table was an older crowd, a lot of musicians, or at least, the original sort of crowd out of Austin that was, really laid back, got it. I need everything explained to me. These people did not. I said what I said, which was, hey, take that question, go talk to the chiefs up in the bedroom. You'll find them. Don't come back till you get all your answers. And she was gone a long time, like 40 minutes or so, came down with a smile on her face, sparkles. And she said, "Thanks. Those guys are great." And I almost fell out of my chair. My jaw dropped. Probably I hid that. But I was shocked, and I was like, mental note to self, these pictures had hung over my bed since I was 2, when my dad passed away in the US Navy. A neighbor in Virginia Beach, after the military sedan rolled away, breaking the news to my mom that my dad had just turned 26 a week after his birthday, died off of Naples, Italy, in a nighttime plane crash in an F-4 Phantom jet off the USS Roosevelt. In 1998, they put him in Arlington Cemetery, and it was on the front page of the Washington Post. Full military honors. We had the jets that day. They shut down all 3 airports. So that sedan rolls away, and a neighbor in Virginia Beach, Virginia, presents these 3 drawings. I'll just show one of Geronimo, but it's by Jack Davis, and they're absolutely beautiful. They've been hanging over my bed as a kid and as an adult in my office. And that's what the woman found those, listened to the chiefs, could feel them, and connected. And that's what sort of sent me down the rabbit hole, or the red or the blue pill. I forget which is the one that gets the journey going. But that was one of the kicks in the pants, one of many that I needed, that helped propel me on my journey. I'd ask the dumbest questions at the beginning, and I mean the dumbest questions. I'd hear patience, all in due time, the time is now. I mean, all sorts of responses you wouldn't believe. But I'm here to assure you that you are savvy. You are capable of listening. You are capable of taking notes. You are capable of asking smarter questions than I ever did. You are capable of getting going on your own healing spiritual journey. You've got this. When I do service for folks, I no longer go over all the answers or all the questions. I don't need to see the questions. I don't need to see the answers. You can get your next book idea. I won't even know the topic. On the other hand, if there's stuff you want to share, if it's at a cocktail party and you wanted to share something that was friendly and fun, absolutely do it. But I wanted to assure you that this is a completely direct experience. You're talking and chatting with angels. You're talking with chiefs. You're talking with your relatives. It's really, how fast can you operate one of these? How fast can you write? You can go beyond words, though, too. You can feel their vibrations. You can close your eyes and have many different experiences that way. not just in a meditative way or in a healing way with waves of light passing through you, different colors of light, different angels doing their thing. You can sit and have a lucid dream equivalent, dream time if it's Aboriginal Australia. You can go surfing with angels. And at Omega 2 summers ago in 2022, I think it was 2 women came to the event, but another woman also came separately. They didn't know each other. The 3 got to know each other. The 3 got to surf together in a joint lucid dream run by angels in Hawaii. You don't need to know how to surf. You just automatically surf like Kelly Slater or John or any of the famous surfers. You just surf with their skill. The waves are perfect, no sharks. It's really cool to surf, but afterwards you can have a luau on the beach. But it doesn't have to be a Hawaiian setting. It could be Tibet, an oasis in the Middle East, India, many locations, a Native American setting with Native Americans. The Hawaiian one, Dolne Fred Geronimo run the luau. It's still angels and other figures. Great place to meet a relative if you're really on the fence about seeing someone who's passed away recently in the last couple of years, or it's going to be really emotional for you. You can at least wave hi a football field away down the beach and sort of take that first step to letting go and connecting. They're still here with you fully in all moments, and you're getting constant love from angels and other loving beings of the universe, your cheerleading squad. Ask yourself, how often am I actually feeling that? Probably, twice a week. We're going a mile a minute all the time. We've got one of these. We've got a million reasons why we can't slow down. Well, it'll be tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. Or, Mike, you're right. I really should. I should pay attention more. I should slow down. I should just take that one breath that means I'm relaxing in the moment or into the moment. It's literally, this is your thinking. This is your brain. This is your brain on thinking. And then that's it. You're down here. Look at a sunset. Look at a sunrise. Pet your dog more. Notice the trees. Notice a flower. There's 2 million ways to be here and to enjoy the moment and to slow way down. And there's 5 million reasons that speak against everything that happens here. Reason, in fact, speaks against all of this. It's what science knows. It's what this institute, whose consciousness studies, knows. If they wanted to get their consciousness studies wrapped up or at least pointed in more productive directions, talk to angels, light beings, talk to Einstein. They're happy to share more consciousness in the moment. Again, you can be happy now in this moment, in this very moment, for no reason whatsoever is the true rub, because the second a but pops up, but what about this? What about that? You're meeting your own ego. And that's really what part of this is about, is meeting and taming your ego, letting it jump into the backseat of the vehicle so that your heart can be the driver. It always has been, by the way. Ego has no more hold or control over you after you recognize the difference between this and this. This generally, in my opinion, is a waste of energy. It's like the hot stove. My kitchen's over there. It's like the hot stove effect. Not to touch a hot stove, especially when it's bright red and glowing. You just know. And the same thing with this. You start to realize, oh my God, it's so much better to be here and to do things out of here. It's your authentic you. It's your authenticity. It's opening openness. It's your authentic power. There's so many ways to say it. Did have one thing I wanted to relate. Again, this is just about walking the path that you signed up for coming in. And it may seem like you're kind of all set and you don't have a unique path, or that it could be hard following your unique life path. I'm here to assure you it's not. You'd be surprised at what you can do or achieve or what can happen the second you sit back and sort of let the universe step in and do its job. Many miracles in each moment. I think the real question is, what will you allow for? And then watch the universe and what it can do and watch what unfolds. Now, shop talk real fast. I've got a YouTube show. In that YouTube show, you pull up any of them, you'll see a little mug. I think it's out of stock right now via Spring or Teespring. As Spring is the online vendor. I think that's $33 for an 11-ounce mug, but it's a beautifully designed mug. Be sure to check out those designs. Go back to my website. I think it's Printful is another vendor, totally separate company. There you can get a 20 ounce, much bigger. I'm drinking coffee, or I was drinking coffee. This is a Starbucks mug, but you can tell it's probably a little bigger. It says, I think this says Waikiki, but this is a 20 ounce mug. I love 20 ounce mugs. They're bigger, more fun, more tea, more coffee in it. You can pick a 20 ounce mug for 35 bucks via Printful there. It's got an angel nutrition label on one side and my rainbow colored emblem on the other. I think it's a beautiful mug. You're supporting me when you do that. The first time I priced it at like $24, I think I saw a net profit of less than $1. So we jacked it to $35 to make sure there's $10 in there of profit if possible. We pick up the shipping costs, so I had to shut off international shipping there. Apologies if you live abroad, but I didn't want to pay a $200 charge to the Himalayas if somebody's ordering the mug. They stick you with the shipping charge, and it's crazy. It's not inexpensive. It is what it is. I'm very thankful to not have to put any money out for that, but it's the cost of the mug, it's the shipping, it's Wix, it's PayPal, it's everybody involved gets a piece of the pie. But if you do decide to get this, enjoy the mug, and every time you sip, you can look at a $3 photo of Joy. I'll put her up again. Ask her what you need to know in life right now. If you only asked one question, that question is your $1 million question. What's next? Here she is. Put your hand out to the screen. Feel what you can feel in your fingers, your palm, maybe both. If you're resisting it all, feel sparkles on your toe. There's 1 million ways to feel her. A wind in the room. Are you gutsy? You're going to get the wind. Breathe extra. Catch beach smell. Catch flower smell. She can bring you sage, and I don't have to light any. No limits. We don't even know what no limits looks like. That's what I'm trying to get across, is you have no limits, but we operate in something called thinking. Byron Katie is great. If a bunch of butts popped up today, she's been around forever, been on the Super Soul Sunday show. I need to ask her to be on the show. But she takes a crowbar to your thinking and makes sure that you understand that whatever you thought was absolute isn't as absolute as you thought, and gets you back towards your heart, towards more openness, and towards fluidity in life that allows for further growth, further fun, more joy, and you growing into who you really are, who you've forgotten who you are. So that's kind of it for today. Just another one of those kind of angel talks. If you wanted to see a ball light around me, go by. If you wanted to close your hand and ask Joy to make you a little ball light pink in your hand, feel your hand light up first. Take a bunch of breaths, do something sacred or special, light a candle first. You have to own it. And the only bit of structure I have, which of course I'm telling you at the end of all this, is angels, get me out of my head, into my heart. Thank you, amen, rock and roll. If you want to add more detail, like angels, get me out of my head, into my heart, and help me smell that sage Michael was blowing earlier in the show. Put it that way, but make sure you own it with a thank you, amen, rock and roll, Om Sai Ram if you're from India, whatever way is your authentic, amazing, setting your intent methodology. That's it. Use the website. It's michaelandreford.com. It's an incredibly packed website. It's not one of those funnel websites you're going to see today from a lot of the best-selling authors. Those only just take you to the book sales spot, mention the next event, and like one other thing in the bio is this big. My website you can play around with for quite some time. You'll see, if you want to look at the future guests coming up on the show, you'll see all 81 of them listed in order. Go to the show page. You can go to the panel page. I've got these mind, body, spirit panels where guests don't just talk about amazing issues, but they take steps together. They can feel it. It's incredible. So this is very experiential. That's what I wanted to kind of point out. If you go to Tyler Henry, good luck with that. 600,000 on the waiting list. That should be 200 years worth of business for him. He's got the TV shows, the books. I've held up his book on the last couple tapings that I've done, and I'll tell you, go to Tyler Henry, go to his events. I went to an event in Dallas that was incredible. But at the end of the day, Tyler just listens in and gives you your answers for whatever it is at the time or whatever your relatives want to tell you, or relatives plus others. You get to go, and this isn't trying to compare or contrast, but you get to go beyond what Tyler Henry does or do what he does, but efficiently. You don't have to sweat when you talk to Uncle Joe. You don't feel Uncle Joe's heart attack that he had when he passed over. You just get to listen to Uncle Joe. But angels first. You can meet fairies. You can meet other figures, all loving. But you can see point blank in your living room, out the window, do it as a group. You all have these incredible Jedi skills. You can see Star Wars, the Force, on your hands, your fingers, your dog, the trees. You can see that flow between two people. Pretend your mom or dad are cooking in the kitchen for tonight's dinner and they're totally in love in that moment. You're sitting there as their daughter, their son, and you're looking over and you tune out. Ask angels to come in. And if they have to, jump in that ball of light that's you and help you let go more. You can see their loving interaction flowing between them. That's special. That'll take your breath away. That'll help you stay relaxed for a week. So the rub here is the Western world, the world, this is a little bit of catch up for how people roll currently. This is something that spiritual communities, publishing community, the holistic community, name a bunch of communities, Buddhism have yet to embrace. You can meet Buddha. You can chat with Buddha. You can hang out with Kuan Yin, Chogyam Trungpa, Rinpoche. You can hang out and see him. I had 2 students of his from the 1970s who studied under him while he was alive, reunite with him again. Same thing for Sri Kaleshwar, figure from India that I describe as love on an Indian breeze. He's a delight. Same thing with Mother Teresa. There's a gorgeous testimonial up that's just 2 minutes, a minute in English, a minute in Swedish. She's originally Canadian, but lived in Sweden for 30 plus years. She adopted 2 infants from Mother Teresa in 1997 and got to reunite with her 2020. I'm going to guess the year in 2020. And she was so kind to give a beautiful testimonial. So all these different folks get to have direct experiences and jointly, if they wish. What will you allow for? You don't have to allow for anything, but this is about just more love, more peace, more openness, more compassion, more fun, more sparkle. This is the direction that mankind's headed. I would argue we're already there. Somebody would just have to pump the brakes on the social media, the phone, soliciting Congress for more disclosure, or that defense contractor out there. If you want to get connected to the stars, just start right now. You start here. Everything happens here. It's not about the externals and what Joe, Sarah, or company X or government Y is doing. It's about you pumping the brakes on this much thinking and so on. I'll leave with a quote that's somewhere on my website. I love Zhou Shu, a Zen master from China. I think it was Zhao Zhao is the name to say it that way, but Zhou Shu, more the Japanese Zen way to say it. There's 2 quotes. One is the student comes running up to the master, the teacher, and they're always trying to prove that they're here, not up here, and that they've arrived here, home, the heart. In NFL parlance, they've scored a touchdown. They're here. They're winning. The student comes running up to the teacher and is like, what about it when I seek to be Buddha? And the teacher says, what a tremendous waste of energy. And then the student asks, well, what about it when I don't waste energy? And the teacher says, in that case, you are Buddha. I love that. So if you're wasting a little bit less energy, you're here each week. And that's all that was being suggested by Charlotte, who said, do 7% less thinking. There's another quote that's similar to that. Can you tell me, teacher, the nature of my personality, my reality? And he says, well, tell me your likes and dislikes. There's your roadmap. Where are you putting your boundaries? Where are you putting your barriers? What will you allow for? If you say love and stop right there, I am love is your entire life story, you've arrived. Most of us would have 28 pages of details. This happened to me, that happened to me. I got this health issue. I'm lacking this, I'm lacking that. My problem is, my situation is, you don't understand this. I got 13 dogs. I got 2 back here right now. That's how most humans roll. We don't realize that we're creating all the time with our thinking, which is mostly up here. And if we could see that creation, that energy, that type of lower vibrational light, you can, by the way, you would immediately choose to get away from the hot stove and to be here more and be more shiny light, more fun light, be more considerate. It's Christmas Carol after he went through the 20-second dream time experience. And he woke up and he realized it's still Christmas morning and tosses the coin out to the kid and says, go get me the goose in the window. From then on, he's treating everybody with love, kindness, and more. And he's still a great business person. In fact, later, Scrooge is walking down the street and everyone shouts out to him. He shouts out to everyone. He caught a taste of man's possibility, man's future, love in the moment, compassion, and more. It's a 79-page book. It's been remade a bajillion times into movies, but it's the message for man. It doesn't have to be the holiday Christmas theme. It's just the message that all is already unfolding for mankind. You've got it all here. Trust this much more, let go this much more, laugh this much more. And I'll leave you with a happy 2024, a belated Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. If you're catching this, and if you're catching this in the middle of the summer and it's 2024, that's okay. Play back the part with the sage, catch that in the air, put your hand out to the angel photo, any of them, go to my website. You've got more angel photos there with watermarks. They're $3 a piece. Pick up at least Joy's photo, put it on an iPhone. Watch what happens. You're in a big city working a big job, but you get out for your break, smoke break, coffee break, lunch break, and you're like, oh yeah, I've had this photo on my phone for a year and I haven't used it yet. Let her change colors or move in the photo. See a face in the photo. You're looking at the photo and you suddenly catch a whiff of bakery smell and there's no bakery nearby. You're in the middle of a park and no one walked by with a fresh croissant. I'm not kidding. No limits means no limits. Let the universe do its job. This is Michael Andre Ford in San Antonio, Texas. Grab me for a session sometime or just check out the show on Angels, Positivity, and Love. Thank you very much. And again, happy 2024.